No AI in humor. R2-D2 walks into a bar, doesn't get the joke. Washington UA robot walks into a bar. It goes clang. Alexa and Siri can tell jokes mined from a humor database, but they just don't get them. Linguists and computer scientists say this is something to consider on April Fool's Day. Humor is what makes humans special. When people try to artificial. And when it comes to humor, the people who study it use sometimes until all laughs are beaten out of it. You say context is key. Even expert linguist, creative. Alison Bishop, a Columbia University computer scientist who also performs stand-up comedy, said computer learning looks for patterns, but comedy thrives on things hovering close to a pattern and veering off just a bit to be funny and edgy. Humor, she said, has. For comedians that's job security. Bishop said her Oregon State University computer scientist Heather Knight created the comedy-performing robot Ginger to help her design machines that better interact with you and especially respond to you humans. She said it turns Ginger, which uses human-written jokes and stories, does a bit about Shakespeare and machines, asking if humor and artificial intelligence is a growing field for academics. Some computers can generate and understand puns. The most basic humor without help from humans, because puns are based on different meanings of similar sounding words. But they fall down at they. Still, with puns there is something mathematical that computers can grasp, Bishop said. Race has spent 15 years trying to get computers to understand humor, and at times the results were, well, laughable. She recalled a time IBM has created artificial intelligence that beat opponents in chess and Jeopardy. Its latest attempt, Slonim put humor into the programming, figuring that an occasional one-liner could help in a debate. But it backfired. That's why humor may be key in future Turing tests. The ultimate test of machine intelligence, which is to see if an independent evaluator can tell if it is interacting with a person or computer. Slonim said. There's still There are good reasons to have artificial intelligence try to learn to get humor, Darmstadt University's Miller said. It makes machines. Texas A&M's Hempelman isn't so sure that's a good idea. Teaching. Comedian and computer scientist Bishop does have a joke about artificial intelligence. She says she agrees with all the experts warning us that someday AI is going to surpass human intelligence. Follow Seth Borenstein on Twitter at @BorenBears. The Associated Press Health and Science Department receives support from the Howard Hughes Medical Institute's Department of Science Education. The AP is sold.
Raindrop, drop top, smoking, no cooking the hot pot. Fucking on your bitch, yeah, that. Looking up, open the park pot.